justification, and it never felt so good. Hello there, true believers. I hope you're doing well out there. I am doing beautiful. I hope you are doing beautiful out there as well. Make sure if you want to check out my other stuff and my cosplays, you can check it out right here at the cosplay page. The King of Dreamers, that is me, I am him. And if you want to ask questions, please, more or less, anytime I give a prompt, I will give a prompt for my Sunday videos that I'm going to start doing, where I basically kind of take certain questions that are asked to me and I kind of make videos out of them and kind of talk about certain things like this. But today's video, we're not going to talk about that. Today's video, we're going to talk about Daisy Ridley's interview on NBC and just the beautiful response she had. I cannot say this enough, how much I appreciate this actress. I've honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I kind of had a crush on her from the first get-go. I got that Finn in me. But ever since the reign of Kathleen Kennedy and the Lucasfilm production of The Force is Female, they have run with a narrative that females were never welcomed in Star Wars and never cared about in Star Wars, which any Star Wars fan would know that's a freaking lie, but you know, it is what it is. So of course, for years we heard how isms and the phobes of Star Wars fans, and it just got annoying and annoying and annoying. But as time has started to pass, we started to see something shift. And we're starting to see this not just with Daisy Ridley, but with other actors and actresses that I'm also going to mention later in this video. Well, actors specifically that I'm going to mention later in this video. Now, I want to be very clear about this. I don't want to say that there isn't any toxicity in the Star Wars fandom, but at the same time there is toxicity in a lot of fandoms in a lot of different places, and I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a minority of people that do not want to see black or female leads or gay leads or whatever. I'm not going to pretend about that either, because there are, but that does not make the majority, and the majority very much spoke out with their wallets in both the box office for Solo and The Rise of Skywalker. It's been showing the decline ever since then, and if that is a minority of people, well, I'm very shocked at how big that minority is, because that's not a minority, it's a majority. Rey to me was always a divisive character. There are some qualities I thought were cool about her, but they were never fleshed out well and they were never portrayed well on the big screen. But that does lead me to what I'm about to say, which I always separated the actress from the character. And some people can't really do that. There's some crazies that can't really do that. And funny enough, the ones that are the ones that calling isms and phobes are the ones that really can't separate the actress or the actor from the character. I.e., look what happened to Adam Driver and the Kylo Ren mishap. But past all that, past all this stuff, there has been a light of hope, and I absolutely love this. So, like I said, she was on an interview talking about her independent movie that she's going to be in. And of course, the conversation had to steer to Star Wars and the sexism in Star Wars, which Daisy said a response that I think Henry Cavill will be proud of alone. And it went like this. I think my take is that things get blown out of proportion, and the interactions I've ever had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're gonna make a great film. Now, the great film part, I don't know on, because there's been some behind the scenes troubles, and I don't like to do the play-by-plays with that. There's other YouTubers that do that kind of stuff. For me, I like this kind of stuff. And honestly, after what Obey Chinoy said and led to a lot of people being very doubtful about this film, for Daisy to turn around and kind of give some kind of inkling of hope is amazing. I know some people are cynical and basically saying, well, she could just be saying that because she's being told to say that. Fine, you can believe that, but I don't believe that, because all her interviews from episode 7 all the way up to this point have very much been she can't really tell a lie. And you can tell that in her body language and how she says certain things. Like when she talked about The Last Jedi, how she talked about The Rise of Skywalker. She was very, don't fire me, but...
Congrats on The Last Jedi.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoyed it. Are you
Thank
happy
you.
with it?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
And I love that about her. And to see this kind of stuff come out where it's basically shutting up the people and it's shutting up these news organizations, especially the comic book organizations, the Twitter people that want to just blame the fans on anything that goes wrong in certain fandoms. It's shutting those people up, and it's becoming so much more apparent than it was before that the mainstream media is losing their grip on geekdom's fandom in a whole. Which leads me to my next part of my story where like I said, I mentioned an actor who was very much the catalyst of why there was racism in Star Wars as well, due to the attacks that this actor gotten, and that is Ahmed Best, also known as Jar Binks, also known as that kick-ass Jedi who saves Grogu from in The Mandalorian from the Jedi Temple from Order 66. This guy has been going through hell, and the thing is, the media has always spun it as that the fans were the ones who attacked him, and then they gave him racial slurs and yada yada yada. And I'm here to tell you, I grew up in that time period, and I'm gonna tell you how much that is a lie. I didn't grow up on the internet around that time period. I want to be very clear about that. But I remember that wasn't the case. And I remember very clearly why a lot of people attacked him, especially the media attacked him. It was because Jar Binks represented a racist stereotype. There were opinion pieces about that. You can actually Google and find opinion pieces from back then, still on the internet, talking about the racial stereotype that Jar Binks was. That's kind of the reason why Jar Binks was canned. Yes, some people found him annoying, but to just get the tension off of their backs, Jar Binks was canned because he was a racial stereotype of a black person. And a lot of people didn't like that. So he comes out with a tweet not too long ago, and he says basically this: 20 years next year, I faced a media backlash that still affects my career today. This was the place I almost ended my life. It's still hard to talk about. I survived, and now this little guy is my gift for survival. Would this be a good story for my solo show? Let me know. So, the media. He didn't say the fans. He said the media. Now, I know people are going to try to twist it around and be like, the fans. No. This is the same argument that they've used with Jake Lloyd and Hayden Christensen and all of them. It wasn't the fans. Yes, once again, a minority group of fans can be devastating, but it is not the majority of people, because the majority of people have brains and realize that there's not a connection between the two. This right here tells me that a lot of people have been using this man's pain and grief to use it as a weapon to try to target Star Wars fans. And I personally am tired of it. I'm so glad that the truth is finally coming out, not just with Ahmed Best, also with John Boyega, also with Daisy Ridley, also with so many people who've worked on these 3 movies. It's finally coming out that Disney had no plan, and they used every trick in the book to try to paint you, the fan out there, the person that's paying their hard-earned money, as the bad person. And once again, I don't believe that you're a bad person. I believe we all have different opinions, and we're allowed to have those differences of opinions. Once again, I don't like the Disney Star Wars films. I don't really like a lot of the stuff Disney has pumped out. But if you like those stuff, you are more than welcome to like it. Just at the same time, respect my opinion that I don't really care for it. And I have a respect for the actors and actresses, directors, writers, producers, makeup, and many other people that work on these shows as well, because once again, I used to work on indie films, and I know how it looks behind the scenes and in front of the camera. It's a lot of work. At the end of the day, what does this say? Well, it says one thing. The media has been lying to you to divide the fandom, and it's been this way since 2011, and it's going to continue if you let it. Don't let the media do that. And if anything, if you don't even believe what I'm saying, please go do your research. There's many articles out there that you can check your own research. And if you're still not, sold by what I say or even by the articles, that's okay. We are people that have to think differently. And if we are not allowed to think differently, then we are one and the same. We are a monolith. That's not what geekdom used to be about. It used to be about divisive thinking and using challenging thoughts. How people could challenge one thought with another thought and use that in storytelling in such a interesting degree that it would be beautiful. I ask you to challenge thought and do not run blind by listening to any of us, but by using your own opinions and your own thought processes. I love you, true believers. I hope you're beautiful. Stay beautiful. I'm here. You're here. We're gonna make it. I will talk to you later. And this is just a momentous occasion of saying, justified after all these years. Peace.